whoever you are, I mean, if you're listening to this podcast and just be good at what you do, and so that hopefully that you
That's it. You really really have to be good, because if I'm gonna fight to have a woman on it, like
right.
I'm going to have the best person on it. It's not because you're a woman, really. It's because your work is spectacular, and we want you on the team.
Hai semua, ini Tania, host dari podcast Janda Becanda, channel khusus yang didedikasikan untuk kesejahteraan para janda. Hal-hal yang berhubungan dengan membangun karir, personal development, single parenting, dan juga femalepreneurship. Kali ini kita kedatangan tamu, seorang sutradara film independen dari Ubud, Bali. Dia ini adonan Indonesia dan Australia. Tapi jangan kecelek sama casingnya aja bule, tapi dalam hati anak Bali asli. Nah, dia ini memulai karirnya sebagai sutradara film independen dari Bali, Indonesia. Tapi dia memberanikan diri untuk cebur langsung ke Hollywood untuk bergabung dengan persilatan film internasional. Dan dia berhasil untuk membuat gebrakan yang membanggakan tanah air. Nah, dia cerita nih bagaimana proyek-proyek sebelumnya dan proyek yang sekarang terakhir dia kerjakan, dan idenya dia yang brilian banget, dan caranya dia untuk crowdsourcing dan crowdfunding proyek ini. Keren banget. Dan juga message-nya dia untuk female professionals untuk selalu mengasah keahlian dan kemampuan dalam pekerjaan kita supaya selalu makin jago dan selalu bisa mendapatkan pekerjaan yang terbaik. Dengerin deh advice-nya dia ini. Dan sebelum kita dengerin obrolannya, untuk yang nonton ini di YouTube, tolong dong di subscribe, di like, dan hit notification bell. Untuk yang dengerin dari podcast, tolong di download episode-nya. Membantu banget untuk channel independen seperti ini. Dan without further ado, I present to you independent film director Soma Helmi. Everyone, this is Soma Helmi.
Hello.
Film director extraordinaire, Balinese baby by way of Australia, now in Los Angeles. So she's minted Hollywood now. And an award-winning director at that. And the one thing that, and we've known each other over the years, and we met once and then became Facebook friends.
Mm-hmm.
And then that's how I've kept in touch with you. And also because of that, Facebook then introduced me, suggested I follow you on Instagram. So then I get up to date, and recently, so I get all sorts of updates, of course, because you're very prolific in terms of like updating the world, which is you're very good at doing that. And the one thing that really got me in that when one of the work is that you had a billboard up in Hollywood, or a billboard up on somewhere in the streets in Los Angeles.
Yes, on Sunset. Yeah.
What movie was that?
It was for a show, for a Snapchat show called The Dead Girls Detective Agency.
How awesome is that? Yeah. Repeat that title again.
The Dead Girls Detective Agency.
Bless your heart.
Which was a Snapchat original.
Did you write that piece?
No, I just was brought on board to direct it. I came in on the second season of it because it was a series, and they had done a series the year before, and then I came in to do season 3 and 4 of the show, and that year they had this massive billboard over Sunset Boulevard, and I was like, okay, this is happening. Amazing.
That was pretty amazing. You said that you're a director for hire. That means you're a working director. There's plenty of people who are not working at their
I was working director before the pandemic. Yes, I was a working director.
Well, you're working now with your new movie.
I've got my own projects going. I shot a couple of shorts. Actually, I just shot my third short in since May, this past
Amazing.
weekend. Yeah, so I keep busy, and these ones were the ones. Two of them I had written, and one was a friend had written, and she wanted me to direct for her.
Okay.
Yeah, so keeping busy.
The one that I saw you on an IG live where you're this movie that you're making is crowdfunded. Which one is it?
Mm-hmm.
What
The
that one is
weekend.
called? That's
The
called The
weekend.
Weekend. That's called The
Yeah,
Weekend.
yeah.
Intermezzo sedikit. Waktu rekaman wawancara ini dengan Soma, nama proyeknya was called The Weekend, tapi sekarang sudah berjudul The Angkasa Legacy. Jadi kalau mau support, jangan lupa ya nama filmnya Soma yang terbaru adalah The Angkasa Legacy. Yeah, with a very good looking actor in it.
With Yoshi Sudarso.
This movie, guys, is completely cast with 100% good looking people only. It's
good-looking Asian American people only.
Yeah, 100% good-looking cast. I'm not saying there's a single like mid good-looking. No, that's like legit.
They're
everybody
all blazing hot. Yeah.
Wow.
Why not? I think it was funny when the project all started coming together. I really wanted to make sure that it wasn't all AAPI cast, to start with, because that was the origins of it. It's really funny going back. I had sent out a tweet that I think I just said, hey, if I wrote or I made an all AAPI short or web series, would you watch it? And it just kind of blew up and got retweeted and liked, and people were like screaming yes at me and sending me, gifts and all this stuff. And I was like, okay, all right, this is an idea, let's do it. And that's where it kind of turned into The Weekend. And Yoshi and I have known each other for a little while, and we've been trying to do a project together for a minute until finally I just was like, all right, I'm just going to write something for us to do together, and you're going to star in it. So that's how it all came in. Yeah.
So it really was just a friendly conversation that turned into a real work.
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of how a lot of projects happen, though. He didn't know that I had written it for him. I just sent him the script one day, and I was like, what do you think? And he was like, this is great. And then, we were chatting about it, and he was like, can I audition for the part? I was like,
you're good.
Sure. You
ladies,
can audition for the part.
Ladies, if you're listening, this is the way to do it. You write the role for the person, you let them read it, but you don't let them know that that's for them and make them ask for it. And I like it.
Well, I think
everyone better take notes.
I think he hadn't seen, and no one had seen, because this was the big part of it, was seeing like an Indonesian lead in a sci-fi, like kind of a mainstream quote unquote Western movie, that had been made in America or, outside of Indonesia. I don't know if you can think of very many, that's like a sci-fi that has an Indonesian lead actor in it. There's a couple, I don't know, that are like more action based, but not really like a romantic sci-fi. I don't know if I can't think of one off the top of my head, but so we were like, yeah, we got to make this. This has to be made.
I don't think ada.
I don't think so
and
either.
Where can everyone watch this movie?
Well, we just shot this past weekend, so you
but
can't
later,
watch it yet. Later on.
Yeah, but later on, where would you?
Well, the first thing is all our pledgers, because we did a crowdfunding for it. They're gonna get a link to it first to watch it, and then we're doing a festival run. And then once the festival run is finished, we'll have it online for people to watch.
I see. So let's talk about that crowdfunding, because that also caught my attention.
Yeah.
Because this movie is 100% crowdfunded. Funded, is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that's amazing. Okay. How much money does it take to make The Weekend?
We raised just under 25,000. Our goal was 15, if I'm not wrong. Okay. Because it's a short, so it's not, what it is a proof of concept to do a feature length. So we wanted to shoot a
I
short
see.
film to show and to prove what the tone and the look and the story would
I
feel like.
see.
Yeah. So
Mm, okay.
it's still, we've raised 164% of our goal, which is quite
Oh,
amazing.
wow.
Not
Well
bad.
done. Uh-huh.
Yeah, and it was, a lot of it was, good friends who came in and believed in our work and really wanted to support us. But there were a lot of kind-hearted strangers that were either fans of one of the actors, or
Mm.
just fans of the idea of having an all AAPI or all Asian American sci-fi romance, because we don't get to see that, especially with an Indonesian lead. I don't, so I think people just got very excited about the idea and the story of it.
It's kind of like almost that you're creating a pilot of a TV series or something, and
Or
then
it's a proof of concept. We are saying that we are open to making it into a TV show, obviously, because it
okay.
is quite a big world. The idea of this young man who discovers that he has alien superpowers, basically.
Mm.
That it's this kind of generational thing with this alien found his family in Indonesia, and he's basically the family or its host because it's a symbiote. So generations of Indonesians in his family have been carrying this alien symbiote. So we're like, this could be a really big world. We could make it into a series because it'd be really amazing to see what it's experienced in Indonesia over generations and generations, like the crazy stories.
Sounds like it
Um,
has all the makings for one.
I think so. If not, at least a really great series of features. um, so I guess it is a little bit like what a pilot would be for a series, but it's a proof of concept. So it's going to be, I guess, about 15 minutes.
So part of the podcast Janda Becanda is about empowering the widows and divorcees, because that what the title means, Janda Becanda, and
Mm-hmm.
also other women listeners, that the kinds of work and the kinds of creativity that people can get into,
Mm,
and that's why you are an aspirational role model for that.
thank you.
Truly, truly. I mean, it's so people can take a look at that and say, you can have creative genius, and then you can commercialize that, and you can turn that into a living, and then you can design your life in any which way, that in direction that you want. You can work with cool people, or in
Mm.
Soma's case, good looking people only. She only works with good
So,
looking.
no,
Ugly ones, please do not
no, no,
apply,
no, no, no,
because
no. They also happen to
she's
be
not
very
writing parts for
talented, by
you.
the way. I
No.
mean, what's the point of having good-looking people on screen if they're not going to be able to act? Your project will also fail.
Well,
Um,
that's fair. Well, so they're not only just good looking, but they're also talented. That's for sure. I guess
oh,
that's the given.
absolutely. They're all very talented
That's the
actors.
given.
Yeah.
And I guess you have you have plenty of selection where you are over your neck of the woods, with
Yeah, there's a lot of really talented actors here. It's funny because I was doing, shorts and commercials and stuff out of Bali when I first started. And, in Bali, I found maybe two actors or three actors, on the island itself that were professional actors back then. And it was, you could make movies. Obviously, everyone went to Jakarta or, overseas
mm.
or something. So in Bali itself, there wasn't like a big pool. And when I came to LA, it was like being a kid in a candy store. I was like, wait, I can send out casting calls and like 300 people apply for one
Wow.
role? What is going on? It's just
Wow.
wild. And it's incredible as a filmmaker to have that available. You know, it's really, I think it kind of makes you better filmmaker because you can do more. You can keep making films, and especially if you want to. Because I think since I've
Mm.
been here, I've made something like 10, no more short films, more 12
Mm.
short films in the 3-4 years I've been here.
Yeah,
Um,
well, that's prolific, and
yeah,
that helps in terms of creating, deepening your level of experience as well. So,
and your
yeah,
craft. You got to
yeah.
keep improving your craft. You learn on every single one. Every single one you learn.
So it was kind of just a no-brainer for you to move from Bali and to Hollywood, or
That wasn't a no-brainer. Um, I think there was a point where I was coming here to shoot commercials for, a minute, and I had friends who were in the industry here
Mhm.
who one is an amazing composer, Sean Callery, who did Homeland and Jessica Jones and 24, and he was a friend of the people I was staying with, and they were like, "What are you doing in Bali if you want to make films?" They talked me into coming here, and we didn't decide on LA at first. Isaac and I
Mhm.
were thinking about, Austin or Santa Fe, or LA really wasn't the first choice. Um, but I'm glad I did, because we actually really enjoy living here.
Yeah.
We didn't think we would, but we do.
The
Pretty
other one
much.
that I wanted to talk about was a movie. I think that all the production team were women. You had, I
Mm,
think,
yeah, it was like 80 to 90% women crew, I think, if I'm not wrong.
that's
Um,
amazing.
but definitely all the HODs were, yeah, yeah,
See? Again, I think it's because also where you are that you could have that you're spoiled for choice, basically, that you can have a 90% crew or women that, or, if you want to say that you want to support women professionals because there are that
yeah.
many,
Oh
you're
yeah.
spoiled for choice. So
No.
that I like that. I
Yeah,
like that.
but I think you have to still be conscious about doing that. I don't think it's like the automatic thing that people still do yet, about, consciously choosing either people of color or women, or, like, to hire, because I think especially at large in the industry, I think there's still very much like the old white men are first choice,
Interesting.
and it's changing. And it's just, I think it depends very much upon people who are in the decision making. Like myself, as a director, I get to a say in who I ask for my HODs, especially my DP, and those kind of people. So you have to use that quote unquote power to hire those people.
Interesting. Well, in Jakarta alone, when I want to have editors for video editors or sound engineers, I
Mm.
haven't run into any female engineers or editors
Mm.
for
Yeah.
and I have been, looking basically for different people to
Mm.
work on different projects for my project or my clients' projects. And I think it's just the lack of the talent pool, or at least I'm not finding them. I mean, or they're
Yeah.
not. So I
I think
guess
that's they
I see
use.
what you mean by it's not as it if I were to actually really consciously, it's like I'm only going to hire a female video editor
Yeah.
for this particular piece, then probably I will find the person.
Yeah.
But it's
You definitely have to make that conscious and just draw the line,
interesting.
because I think even on some of the bigger projects I've been on, where I've said I want, but at the end of the day, it's always whoever is best for the gig. You're not going to hire a woman if her reel or her work is not strong, because that would be detrimental to the project, obviously. So it's like, go and find this. I know there are a slew of talented female DPs. Send me a list and we can choose. We can't just choose the first person that comes to us. So you have to just put your foot down, because there was a couple of bigger projects where it, it took a while to find some names, and I was getting pressure to just go with this guy. Just go with this guy. Like, we've worked with him before and he's great. Like, and I just had to just say, no, hold out. She's gonna turn up. Just keep sending out and sending,
Mm,
websites or reels, and we'll find her. And we did eventually on a couple of them, where I was like, and it was nail biting, because it came down to the wire where we were like, we gotta hire somebody. But I think that's where those people also break through, because you give them the chances to do that, to get hired on bigger projects. And the crazy thing is, I think sometimes there's always the excuse that we couldn't find anybody. And I understand that, because I've been in that position where I've wanted to have female HODs or women DP, and I just wasn't getting, the references, or they were busy, or, I mean, thankfully now more so, they're busy. All the good, women filmmakers are just being hired all over the place, and that's a great problem to have. But it's also okay.
I was about to say,
yeah, it's a good problem to have.
Well, whoever you are, I mean, if you're listening to this podcast, and just be good at what you do, and so that hopefully that you
that's it. You really really have to be good, because if I'm going to fight to have a woman on it, right, I'm going to have the best person on it. It's not because you're a woman, really. It's because your work is spectacular, and we want you on the team. Because it should always come down to that. It should always come down to the best person for the job.
So are you ever going to write a role for yourself? Because I think you should be on film.
Me? No. I prefer to be behind the camera, always.
Is that right? Okay.
I tried it a couple of times, and no.
Is that right?
It's not for me.
I haven't seen you promote that at all.
No, it was nothing that I used anywhere. It was just kind of experimental. I did do some acting courses, because I think I did it to help my directing.
I see.
I think it's very, very important for directors to learn acting as a craft, because it helps you work with your actors more, better.
All right. So I understand the thought process there in terms of, do you do also your editing, or somebody else is editing for you? I
have done for many years, but now more and more other people are doing the cuts. Yeah.
We already know that you can do lighting just now, so
oh gosh, no, this is terrible lighting.
apart from sound editing, I think you can almost do the whole film all by yourself. I mean,
well, I used to. That's how we all started, isn't it? I mean, in Bali, I'd do films I've done many films where I've shot it, I've directed it, I've produced it, I've edited it, and I've mixed it. And that's what indie filmmakers do. They have to learn how to do every single part of filmmaking, I think.
Right. And then that's when you discover which part of it that you want to be great at. And so that's also part of the training, I guess. That's wonderful.
And when you discover your control freak, so you got to be a director.
That's good. I mean, to be in control of your work, and then being able to decide the kind of quality that you want to have from the output. So that's good. I like that. All right. So so you are, the year's not even out. You probably will squeeze in 2 more shorts before the year's out.
Oh gosh. I don't know. Trying to do a feature next, actually. I'm hoping to do a feature in the next year. I think that's going to be my next goal.
All right. So we're looking forward to that. And don't tell Yoshi, probably, because you're probably writing a role for him.
And then we actually have a project that we're looking at doing that's half here and half in Indonesia, actually.
Okay.
A feature. Yeah. So maybe you'll see us make that feature soon.
When you and Yoshi come to Indonesia, I want to interview you both again here, and tell him his Power Ranger fan wants to meet him.
I will. I'll let him know.
Because I've got small kids that are into Power Rangers, so
Oh my gosh! Oh yeah, that I'm sure he's actually about to go to a convention, because I know a couple. His little brother Peter is also a Power Ranger, and a friend of ours, Brennan, who was in the Dead Girls Detective Agency, was also a Power Ranger. So I know a few Power Rangers.
You're swimming in Power Rangers.
Swimming in Power Rangers. I mean, I could get them to take a group photo and send it for your kids if you want.
Yes. Yes.
There you go. Brownie points for Mom.
I'm not going to say no to that. Wow. Awesome. That would be so awesome.
I could do
And
that.
if you also meet Mr. Bean, that wouldn't hurt either. If you
Mr. Bean.
if Rowan Atkinson
Bean.
happens to be strolling by into Los
I mean, I can
Angeles.
get you 3 Power Rangers, but I think that's as much as that's all I've got.
Wow.
2 blue and 1 red, I think.
Soma, I didn't know you were this powerful, but
yeah, my connections. I got connects. I got Power Ranger connects.
I thought you were pretty dope to begin with, but now you are star level. That's awesome. Okay.
Hilarious.
So are you going to do a movie in Indonesian, just Indonesian language, or?
It's going to be mixed. It's going to be in both English and Indonesian. Yeah.
Ooh, I'm excited.
The story is about an Indonesian man in LA going back to Jakarta or somewhere in Indonesia.
That's practically a documentary for you. You could just put a video on you. Just shoot you and Isaac coming back home.
Yeah, gosh, maybe not, but not such an interesting subject.
Well, you don't think? Well, I guess people are still obsessed with behind the scenes anything, right? And
oh yeah, that's true.
I would watch that personally, but
maybe we'll get a BTS documentary going while we shoot the film.
See?
There's an idea. There you go. People would watch that.
Yeah. No, especially how difficult it is to create a film or create a project and making it, and not feel, and people don't have to feel bad when their projects are going through a slump, and because everybody goes through that, right?
Everybody goes through a slump. Yeah, no, I mean, gosh, this crowdfunding for this thing was, I think people who haven't done it don't understand how hard it is, and I feel like there should be a documentary about crowdfunding.
So
it's a
let everybody know how they can help you with the crowdfunding.
Well, it's closed already.
Oh,
so we just did it for a month. Yeah, we only did it for a month. We raised, but yeah, it's all about your network. It's all about reaching out. It all comes down to the people you know personally, and you feel really kind of gross for a minute because you're just emailing friends for money, and you're just like, this is so awkward. And that's the worst part of it, because you have to just constantly be sending out updates. And if you haven't sent any, and I hated asking for money. I never did in any of my emails or anything. It was very much like, if you want to support, or if you want to share, or if you want to, find out more, go to this link. Because I just didn't want to be like, send me $50.
Wow. Okay.
It felt icky to do that. Yeah.
Well, I don't think you should feel. I mean, it's a different kind of fundraising, right? But it's fundraising for a cool project. So I think,
Yeah.
crowdfunding is a thing, right? I mean, people are doing it. I mean, so.
It is, but it's still very personal in the end, because it's you're asking. You're out there with kind of a bowl asking for money for your project. So it gets very stressful, especially when it's going for a month and, you're constantly having to do it. I don't know anyone who enjoys the crowdfunding process. However, it is a very good way, if you don't have access to funding, to make your work, So filmmakers just do it because, you want to make your piece and you want to make your project. So you just grit your teeth and get in there and do the crowdfunding.
Well, the project's called The Weekend, and the director is Soma Helmi, with some Power Rangers in the film. We're looking.
Actually, they are both Power Rangers. His brother is in it too. Peter is also a Power Ranger.
What did I tell you? This movie is gonna be amazing. I'm already excited about it.
That's a new way to market it. I didn't think of marketing it that way. There are two Power Rangers in the film.
This has been a trip. I love it.
Thank
you so much for your time. Say hi to Isaac for me. I doubt
I will.
All right. Have a good night, and thank you so much.
You too.
All right. Take care.
Morning.
Bye.
Bye.
Gimana? Suka nggak dengan episodenya? Kalau suka dengan wawancara ini, jangan lupa ya di subscribe kalau misalnya belum di subscribe. Dan tolong di DM dong maunya apa episode-episode yang berikutnya supaya ada ide-ide yang khusus untuk dikerjain. Oke. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Goodbye for now.